Hello, it's me, Goodle Shoes. Today, we'll be ranking the following Yogscast members based on their content throughout the years. This is completely based on my viewing experience and my own opinion. Since this is mostly due to their personalities and how I react to them, this list is highly subjective, and I understand if another person would have a completely different list, so be chill, okay? I've been watching Yogscast since about 2010 if I remember correctly. I haven't watched enough of all of the members to comment on them, so I will only include members that I have watched extensively. I'm also sticking to their content as far as entertainment while playing video games, so I will not change my judgment based on their opinions about the world or politics/controversies. This is just about enjoyment and comedy. Not only are the members sorted by tiers, but also the order in each tier is significant, so keep that in mind. Without further ado, let's dive into the tier list. First, we have our D tier members. These individuals are those who I did not enjoy watching, but I still respect their contributions. They're just not for me. Pyrian Flax. I don't enjoy Pyrian. Anything he's ever said that I've heard I simply did not like, so he's going here. Kim. While I've only seen Kim in Duncan's Flux series, I did not care for her to the point of actively not enjoying her side of the content. It dragged the series down, in my opinion. Maybe if I gave her solo content a try I could change my mind, but otherwise I'm not feeling it. Moving up to the C tier, we have some good members, but I've never had the desire to sit down and consume their content from their solo channels. They are very good, don't get me wrong, but I would not go out of my way to binge their content unless they were playing a game that excited me, especially that other members would not touch. Barry/Harry. He's a gamer. He's good at games. He's enjoyable for that reason, since he has a competency that other members of the Yogs don't seem to have for the most part. As far as his personality is concerned though, I enjoyed him in the Vault series, but I probably wouldn't choose to start a solo series of his. Rythian. I've always enjoyed Rythian and all of his inclusions in Minecraft series, however there's something about him that I can't quite reconcile. I'm not saying he's whiny or annoying or anything like that, but I always feel on edge when listening to a longer Rythian interaction. I don't think he's doing anything wrong, I just don't find him as captivating while watching him. If you asked me if I thought he was a cool dude, then I'd say absolutely yes, but his taste in comedy is not my favorite. Martin/in the Little Wood. I've only seen Martin in his Minecraft Christmas series way back when, and I enjoyed it immensely. Really beautiful sense of comfy with a feeling of PJs on a Christmas morning. As if the very essence of Christmas, even more real than experiencing Christmas itself in real life, was in that series. That being said, I wasn't grabbed by anything else he's made. I could probably get more into him if I just watched his content, but we'll see. Now let's focus on our B tier members. Boof. I only really watch her when she's on the main channel, but anytime she is included it is a pleasant encounter. Seems chill, but I don't have much to say about her because I haven't delved into her solo content. Niall Z. He's a more nervous and budget version of Ravs. All kidding aside, he brings this nervous energy to anything which is usually enjoyable and funny, but oh my goodness, I feel on edge whenever he's on screen. As if the underwater breath timer in Sonic was going off and I'm drowning. Oh, well though, he is decent as a content creator. Ben. He's good when he's on the main channel, and even better when he's doing a duo series with Lewis. His XCOM series with him was one of the best I've seen from the Yogs period. That being said, he is incredibly dry with his humor. While I appreciate this, I wouldn't watch his solo content. I need a buffer. Spiffing Brit. I'd say he's pretty amazing. The Skyrim videos along with all the exploit videos he makes are great as well. I'd put him higher, but for some reason, I just don't feel like it. His gimmick is very cool, but it's not my favorite, so I'm putting him here. His solo content is great, and his main channel stuff is also worth watching. Not sure why I don't like him more, to be honest. Zoe. She's always been good on the main channel, though I haven't gone out of my way to watch her solo stuff. She's added a good energy to TTT as a wild anomaly. She's pretty funny no matter what train of thought comes from her. I wouldn't say she's LOL random, but she kind of is in a non-annoying way. I'd probably be able to move her up a tier if I binged her channel. Moving on to the A tier, these Yogscast members are those who I desperately want to put in S tier, but there's a small issue/dislike with them that puts them at a tier below. However, they are amazing and are part of my favorites. Lydia. Similar to Boof, I haven't seen much of her solo content, so I'm not sure if I'm overhyping her, but her brand of humor is awesome. Somehow her comedy is quirky enough to hit that spot. Love her stuff with Tom as well. I don't have anything bad to say about her. Ravs, I've grown to enjoy Ravs more and more over the years. His personality wasn't always my favorite, but I think I've come around to being a big Ravs fan. He's very wholesome and sweet while still being exceptionally funny. Boba is good. I like her, and even though I've never really watched her solo channel stuff, I don't mind any series that has her. She adds a lot to any situation, so it's nice whenever she's included. She's funny in a way that pushes on other people to be engaged with her in witty banter. She brings out the strengths of other members while other members are more in their own world while in videos. Xylus. Pretty godlike. Really good content on the main channel for the entire time he's been around. I don't watch his solo content, but he's in TTT and GTA the majority of the time, so I've been exposed enough to him. His humor is good and his perspective as a Dutch person makes him unique. He's good at games mechanically, so that's refreshing to see as well. Weirdly, he's placed in an outsider role in interactions when in most series. I just get that feeling whenever he's involved with any other Yogs member. Lewis is always at odds with him. Though it's in a friendly way, it still feels adversarial. This also happened with him and Ped during the Dreadhunger series. To be fair though, Xylus is a filthy nitro rusher, so it makes much more sense in that case. He would be up a tier if he didn't just rush nitro like a cringe lord. Not even kidding, this matters enough to me to be petty about it. In our S tier, we have members that I have and am willing to binge entire series for. I've seen large amounts of content from all of them and am willing to watch entire long-form content series from them. They're the best, and I've been watching all of them for years. The order of this one matters a little less compared to other tiers because they are the heart of what I love about the Yogscast. Ped Gwen. I can't say enough about Ped Gwen, so I will just say he is a main character. I played Dread with him and he's what inspired me to get into Dread, and it ended up being the game I streamed the most, and it's now one of my favorite games of all time. He's unique when it comes to personality, and I'd say he'd be considered the best of the quote new members unquote of the Yogs. He's genuinely funny and can carry a series from an entertainment standpoint even when he's just messing around in-game or doing meme strats. Duncan. Starting with Duncan, let me just say that he, Lewis, and Simon are what I consider to be the core of Yogscast. Even though I'm placing them toward the bottom of S tier, that's just because of my taste. Now, Duncan's series are incredible. He's able to roleplay well and also can improv on main channel content. His IRL content is also good enough to be enthralled by, which is to say a lot for me because I usually just stick to gaming when it comes to YouTube. His Minecraft playlists are all worth watching even when it's well above 100 episodes. Even though he's semi-serious as a person, he is still funny. His rigid nature allows him to keep a series on track. Without him you'd have no progression, yet he's still likable most, if not all of the time. Simon. In his way, Simon is a master at what he does in comedy. He doesn't even have to be playing the game to be entertaining. He is the ultimate support character. This is not meant as an insult because he's also good on his own, but his ability to shoehorn himself into a series without doing much at all gameplay-wise while still being incredibly hilarious is his major strength. His collabs with Tom and Lewis are among the best content I've ever seen. Truly a legend. Lewis. Possibly the GOAT. Obviously, without him, the Yogscast wouldn't exist, but that's not why he's so high on this list. He is the visionary as far as I'm concerned. He is Captain Kirk and Peep Show all in one. Lewis is good at creating entertainment that is completely unconcerned with the gameplay on screen and having it be good enough to stand on its own without detracting from the gameplay itself. Great role player and seems to embody the British spirit, which goes for Simon as well now that I'm mentioning it. Their duo is originally what brought me to begin watching the Yogscast in the first place. He's just so silly that it's hard not to like him. Tom. His enjoyment of Lovecraft already puts him in high regard from my perspective. All of his series on his main channel are so good. His personality and attitude are so refreshing and fun to experience. Some of his videos are so chill that I'm chilling out just remembering them. I've had so many good experiences with his content that I will always be a fan. His horror Let's Plays are good as well. His catchphrases are amazing. I like his sense of adventure and how he's a great role player. I can get immersed when he's playing compared to a lot of other members who are usually more riffing regardless of whatever game they are playing. Tom usually gets more into the experience in front of him, and I can appreciate that. I remember being so sick one time for a whole week and watching his Cthulhu series with Simon. It made my life bearable even though I was suffering. I would sit on the reclining chair and alternate between watching that series and dozing off repeatedly for what seemed like an eternity. It was as if I were in a Lovecraftian fever dream. Anyway. Sips. He is probably the best solo content maker. His series with Shin was legendary, and his brand of humor is so unique and interesting that he can be considered a savant of his age. His sense of humor is so ahead, or maybe even behind his time, that he is unlike anyone I've ever enjoyed content from. He's like an alien that has come to the planet to show us what we were missing, and it's him. The fact that I can watch him play simulator games like Retail Store Simulator or whatever that game was called, where he's doing the most mundane things, and still find myself crying with laughter says a lot. I could go on about Sips, but he is an oasis in a desert of mediocrity that is what most of content is today. Hat Films, Ross, Smith, Trott. It is almost cheating to say that Hat Films is the best in the Yogscast since it is made up of 3 members, but I don't believe it would be fair to place them individually since they only ever create content as a unit. Hat Films was technically my first subscription on YouTube, and I watched them long before they were a part of the Yogscast. I still consume almost all content from them and have been since maybe 2010 or possibly a bit later. Their personalities and brand of comedy are among the best of almost all content I've seen. The way they approach interacting with each other can be a bit draining at times, but this has been happening a lot less throughout the years. To be specific, I'm talking about the gimmick where Smith would playfully bully Trott while Ross would make neutral comments. It was a whole era of Hat Films which just left me bored, but other than that, everything is perfect with them. Their humor is similar to how different Sips is from other content creators. That is to say, Hat Films is nothing like Sips, but they're in their ecosystem and are wholly unique with how they approach entertainment. They're so good that I've seen their IRL stuff, listened to their podcast, and seen most if not all of their series, and they've always been the most consistent of all of the Yogscast in my opinion. I don't even care about the negatives because I've laughed harder at them than I have most content creators I've seen, period. And there you have it, my comprehensive Yogscast member tier list. Hopefully, you enjoyed it. This is just my opinion, so if you think differently then let me know. Okay, I gotta go. Bye.